I'm here with Jim Lowrey at Lowrey Restorations. Whether it's hot rods, classics, or even international rally cars, Jim has taken part and is overseeing the restoration or the build of these cars. It's going to be great to talk to him. Jim, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Dirk. Good. Nice to have you here.
Well, it's terrific. So, you know, we've taken a look around the shop. We've seen just a real range from English to rally cars to classics to some of your own cars here. Tell us, how did you get started in doing all this?
Well, this started way back when my dad had a collision shop. We used to do antiques and auto restorations and build a lot of hot rods over the years. So we started doing that part-time, and then it became a full-time business, and I took over the company in about 1987 full-time. And here we are today, still doing it. I've got a crew of 4 plus a girl in the office. So we're very busy, and it has evolved. We have to keep changing ourselves a little bit each and every phase of this hobby changing. It started off with hot rods and restorations. Now it is exactly what you said, rally cars and foreign cars, some race cars. It's evolving in that direction right now.
So you've really had to sort of up your skill sets from, you know, some of the traditional things that you did with your father in the past all the way to, you know, some of these pretty rare cars we've seen out there. Healy, Bristol, early Packards. Really stretches the skill sets, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pushing us hard right now. I was so familiar with our company and what we used to work on years ago that now it's become something I have to learn about all the time. Each car has its own unique features, parts, and everything that are included. Parts coming from England and everywhere else over the world. Seems like we're always, you know, searching for stuff now. It's not as easy as it once was.
Well, you know, I guess that is part of the fun too, is, you know, you're learning about some things that are pretty eclectic. I mean, there's some pretty rare cars here, and maybe even as rare as one off or a few off, at least.
Very much so. We have some very rare, unique cars. Certainly one of a kind in a lot of cases. We can't, you know, you have to make parts in a lot of cases. It's just getting to be tricky now.
Well, you know, of course, you've got this beautiful facility here with multiple buildings. So you've got a metalworking shop, you've got, you know, your paint and body section, you've got the section where you're putting cars back together that's mostly clean, and so it's really well set up.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. We do have different facility for each operation of the business. It is very critical to have it separated. You can't be assembling a car in a dust-filled environment. Some of these cars are worth several thousand, $100,000, up to $1 million. So you have to have complete control over your atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, when talking to your guys, I mean, these are pretty committed people. They're really, you know, they're not just mechanics. They're dyed-in-the-wool.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that I have great help. They do love what they do. They come to work with enthusiasm. They care about our customers. As you notice, they can speak well to the customer. Lots of times I just stand back and let it happen.
Well, you know, that's a nice point in the business, to be able to have people that, you know, understand the customer's wants and desires, and sometimes, you know, helping the customer understand that maybe what they thought they wanted, they don't want.
Yeah, that's very true. As you noticed this morning, we had a big back and forth discussion going on, and the list is growing, but the customer will ultimately get what he thinks he needs.
Well, you know, and I think, you know, collaborating with, you know, someone who's, you know, really their whole heart and soul is, you're sharing that love of that classic with them, and helping dreams come true.
It is. That's what we do. We're building dreams. We try to keep the guys happy. Lots of times we escort the car to the show, prep the car for the show, help show the car, bring it back home, clean it again, ready for the next show.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So, share a story with us. What if you had to pick a one really different or special or interesting restoration you've done? What one would it be?
Well, most recently we're working on this 1940 Packard for the Peking to Paris rally, and that car's been a challenge because it's an evolution. It's changed many times to where we are today.
Well, actually being part of that crew and going on that run, it certainly has been quite the ride. So that would stand out as one of the most interesting.
Well, that's most recent. Probably the car that really helped to put my name on the map was it was a 1932 Ford Roadster. It was the Ray Brown Roadster. It raced at the El Mirage Dry Lakes, Bonneville Dry Lakes. And that we restored that car back in the early 90s. And at that time, that type of restoration hadn't been thought of. We did it as an authentic race car, the way it raced on the salt back in the day. And it started a whole new revolution. All these Dry Lakes cars came out of the woodwork, and the next thing you know, that whole scene just blossomed into this huge everybody wanted to have one, and there's only so many of those early period correct cars left to restore. In fact, it'd be nearly impossible to find one right now today, 25 years later.
Yeah. So you've been involved in sort of starting a hobby, or starting a fad, or starting a hobby.
Well, we certainly didn't start that fad, but by restoring that car, it brought it back to the forefront. It brought those cars to life again, and it actually helped my business immensely. We were doing hot rods as fast as we could do them. That was a good 25-year run, and as I said earlier, it's evolved into foreign cars right now, foreign race cars, sports cars, rally cars, all sorts of unique automobiles right now.
Well, that's terrific. So one of the nice things about your business is you live right here on the property here, and so I guess that's good and bad.
It's good and bad, yes. Auto restoration work is quite unique in a sense that I could be almost anywhere. My customers will find me, and so I don't need a roadside or a big facility downtown or on a busy road. I can more or less hide where I am, keep low profile, and service the customers that we have. We don't deal with hundreds of customers a year. It's about a dozen, and we try to service their needs and keep them happy. And we always have one or two customers with multiple cars in the shop, so that keeps us very, very busy.
Yeah, well, I think you build a clientele, but you also build friendships with people, and
very true. Yeah, you become friends with your customers, especially when you start traveling with them to the shows and stuff like that.
That's great. Well, terrific. Well, I enjoyed talking with you, Jim. We look forward to seeing more of your shop and hearing about projects that are coming up in the future.
Thanks again, Dirk. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being with us.